When I got into the Amazon world, there was something that drove me absolutely freaking crazy. And it was people who just obsessed over this question about what product should I sell. So I came up with this thought process. I said, you can actually figure out what you want to sell very easily. You just decide who you want to sell to. And then all these different product ideas are really clear. If you're selling to men who are dating, then you can sell fitness stuff and pickup lines if you're into that, men's grooming or whatever. You can sell whatever you want if you just know exactly who you're selling to. And then something happened. All the entrepreneurs that believed me that it's easier to choose your product if you choose your person started taking their obsession over product and obsessing over choosing the right person to serve. It's the exact same obsession, and it keeps entrepreneurs stuck. It drives me absolutely crazy when entrepreneurs tell me that they spend 3 months trying to figure out exactly who they want to serve. So in this video, hopefully we're just gonna solve that. I'm gonna show you an example where I take one of our members through an exercise of choosing their person, and in 15 to 20 minutes, we just choose it and you can see the entire path. So if you're struggling with this idea of who do I serve? What is my product gonna be? What is my business going to evolve into 15 years from now? This conversation is going to help you make those early decisions so that now you can build towards the momentum. Let's go figure out who your person is.
Tell me a little bit about your business and how it can help.
I keep hitting a wall in the who is my person arena. I want to be of service. I want to be helpful. I want to leave the world a better place. I want a scalable business and all of those things. And when I ask those big questions, I really feel like I'm getting hung up on who the who is.
This comes up a lot, even with businesses that are doing $100,000 a month in revenue. It comes back to, okay, I've read Ryan's book, or I've heard Ryan say enough times that I need to focus on a person. I realize that I've done this wrong. I need to go back and change this. Or if you're at the beginning of the journey, like you are, Nicole, it feels like the biggest decision in the world to choose my person. But in the 5-day challenge, if you remember, we go through how much easier it is once you just choose somebody for example purposes, and it makes the decision so much easier. So there's several ways that we can crack this nut. One of them is to just choose who's right in front of you. For you, you have a photography business. So if you were to just choose photographers as your person, regardless of what your product is, I don't care if you're selling supplements or beauty creams or potatoes or photography equipment, if we just choose photographers as your person, how does that bring on the next set of questions? So I convince you, Nicole, photographers are the best market ever. Like there's so much money to be made in selling to photographers. Like if I just instill this belief in your brain, what is the next set of questions or decisions that come up for you?
Genre.
Too specific. So let's just go with photographers. Like, what are you going to sell those photographers?
When I think of photographers, I'm a self-taught photographer, and I look at the world of photographers and see all of these people that are like educated and have really fancy studios and are in these big metropolis areas that, you know, are working with huge brands all of the time, because I do commercial and lifestyle stuff for small to medium-sized businesses. So I don't have like those accolades, and I think, well, why would anyone listen to me?
So you're doing a great job of not answering the question, right? I'm not picking on you. Everybody does this, right? But like, I asked you a specific question. I just instill a belief photographers are the best market in the whole world, and you're like, well, I'm not good enough to market to Whoa, hold on. I mean, I appreciate we going right to the root of it very quickly, but if you believed that photographers, and this is just an example, right? We could also pick moms, or we could pick green energy enthusiasts, or like if we pick any person, for you, if we just said it's the person that you're already serving, it's photographers, what's the next set of business decisions that needs to come up for you? Because you said to me, you have this long list of people that you could serve. All right, great. Let's just pick one of them. What's next for you?
I guess I need to start gathering them together in a community.
Great. Awesome. So that would be the next step for you. And to go source product, right?
Yeah.
To list the list. So that's going to be the steps, regardless of what person you pick. All the magic is going to happen on the other side of whoever you pick. And the imposter syndrome, or like, I'm not good enough, is also going to be there regardless of who we pick too.
Okay.
So what we can do is we can just pick any of them that we would be most delighted to serve. And then for the next year, 2 years, we're going to be serving them to build something that matches your desire of building something a little bit more scalable. So as you look at your list of people that you've written down,
Yeah.
which one feels lightest or most enthusiastic for you to be in service to for the next year?
I mean, maybe like the photography clients that I serve now, like entrepreneurs and business people.
Great.
That feels pretty good.
Okay, so talk about that a little bit more. Tell me why that feels good. Tell me why you might want to serve them. Tell me what products they buy that's a little bit more scalable. Tell me what you would want to source. Like, just ramble some with me. About this person.
So people at that place in their journey are usually, they've made the decision to go into business. They've made the decision to, kind of, like bet on themselves. And when they come to me and make a decision to have what I call branding photos, so like a session that captures everything that they do in business, then I feel like they're proclaiming to the world, like, I'm ready for the next step. And it's not so much about the photos, it's about the ready to be seen. And that it's that energy that I think really projects them out into the world. And I almost like the photography is a symbol of that. So
Okay. So you're on something really, really unique and special here. So when you say that, what you basically said is that there's a transformation that happens before the photos.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really unique perspective. So what is that transformation that happens before the photos? For example, I know that in the fitness world, there's often 12 weeks of prep before someone hires a photographer, right?
Well, and I've photographed plenty of fitness people to know that that's the case.
Yeah, right. Or there's, there's a year of courtship that happens before the engagement photos.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole transformation that happens before someone books a photographer. So for you, what do you mean when you say that there was, my words, not yours, but there's a transformation that happens before the photo? I think you said it's a symbol of the transformation.
I think what I mean is my clients are ready to proclaim themselves as professional people and that they're for real in their business. They're not just selling to the network that they know, referral based. Like they want the business from outside of their circles and they're ready to present themselves to new people.
Okay, so you said that the photos are like a professionalization of the business.
Mm-hmm.
I want to understand how you would serve somebody in that transformation leading up to the photo.
Oh, so for kind of what I've been doing, for the
not
past,
what you've been doing. I'm sorry. I'm like, where I'm going is in that transformation. What would be those challenges that they'd run into that we could service them with a product leading up to that? And I know we're super in the weeds right now.
It's okay. I think I know what you're getting at.
Yeah.
So what I see is like people kind of teetering on the fence with their confidence. Is this what we're kind of digging?
Keep going.
Okay, so they're teetering on the fence with their confidence. There's a little uncertainty, and then there's, I guess, right before the moment I get the call is just like, it's like there's a lot of like nerve, like they have to build up a lot of nerve to be like, okay, like I'm going to make this investment. And then they give the call and they're like, it's always kind of sounds like, I think I'm ready. Like, let's do this. Like, like let's show me the dotted line before I change my mind kind of thing. And that's sort of how it goes down and how it plays out with them. They're probably in, like, I think they make their investments in tiers. So, maybe it'll be like some kind of like inventory or location or rental for their space or whatever. And then finally, like I come in, and then I don't know what sort of metaphor you could use for that, but it's just like, okay, now I'm ready to be seen. And then they take it to the next steps that they need.
Okay.
To building.
So what you did a great job of in this conversation is taking a very niche person, which is someone who reaches out to a photographer to get professional photos for their business. Super micro niche, right? And what you did was you did a great job of painting the transformation of what that person goes through leading up to the one transaction they have with you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your goal coming into this call was you want to build something that's a little bit more scalable and outside of yourself and bigger than a photography business. Am I summarizing you correctly?
Yes.
Okay. So your job at this point, Nicole, you saw how big of a conversation one micro person could be, right? We just had a full conversation about a business person who calls a photographer. We could have that same conversation with new moms, with fitness pros, with vegans, or anybody else on your list of people. Your job at this part of the process is to think about what that transformation is and how a brand would serve them in that transformation. So in the fitness world, okay, this person is going to buy food, they're going to buy weight loss supplements, they're going to buy a scale, they're going to buy a weight loss journal. You make a list of all the ways that a brand would serve them. You know better than me what it would be in the photography space, but that is the next part of this journey. One of those people, you'll be like, oh, it'd be this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And 7 of the other 8, you're going to be like, how would I? And it will be really heady and you'll feel it like tightness in your body. Avoid. But one of them will pop and feel really easy. And what you will find is that it's probably the younger version of yourself, the person who's already gone through that transformation, so that you can look back and say, I know exactly what that person is going through. So for me, that's entrepreneurs, right? Because I can go back 20 years and say, I've already addressed this problem. I've gone through this myself. Here's what you can do about this, or here's who you should meet. And I'm actually coaching my younger self in some way. You will find that the one that pops in your mind is the one that either was the younger version of yourself or someone that you helped previously go through a big transformation. When you have that alignment, it feels very natural and easy.
It feels like I was like really zoomed out, pun intended, on like these different compartments of who I am, but like taking the moment and like really like looking more closely at the moment and then turning that on its side and examining those moments can bring a lot of clarity to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And again, the clarity will come when one of them just like pops.
The thing that concerns me is, and I said this in my post, is I'm like so hesitant to get into something where I'm so deep into it and I just don't feel like a connection or passion with the person that I'm serving. And I have done that before in a brick and mortar business. And I had to walk away from it. Like it was just so exhausting.
I love what you're saying right now, because that is what happens. I hope all of you just heard what Nicole said, because that's what happens when you make the product the business. Now, Nicole, there might come a day when I no longer have a passion for teaching people how to build brands, but I will always want to work with entrepreneurs and capitalists. Mm-hmm. I will always want to work with people who are building something, people who are creating something, even if that something is just a better life. Because I've chosen a person, not a product to sell. So there might come a day where I don't sell the 1% anymore, the capitalism incubator, but I'll always be in service to entrepreneurs in some way. There may come a day at Sheer Strength when I don't want to sell supplements anymore, but that company will always serve men who are on a fitness journey at some point in their career. Mm-hmm. And so when you can pick from that long list of people, when you pick the one that you're like, you know what, I want to be in service to this person for a long period of time, that's the unlock. And now we can layer in any number of products to sell them that can monetize the business.
My person is the entrepreneur who always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Not somebody who's been thinking about it, not somebody who like thinks that would be nice, but the person who deep down inside, they always knew they wanted to be an entrepreneur and they just didn't have the path. Because I love working with that person. I know I can help that person. That's the kind of person who's in it for more than just the money, but the money is a motivator. That's my person. It's the entrepreneur who just needs somebody to believe in them long enough to where they catch up to the vision that I see for them. It's the person who is willing to do the work, but needs a few things pieced together so that they have clarity in their direction. It's the person who wants to hit 1 million, but has a vision for something really big. They have a vision for creating something, not just because they can have a big 8-figure exit, although that can happen, is because they just want to see how far they can go. It's just born in them to build stuff. It's just born in them to go after big, impossible dreams. That's the person that I serve. And if I'm talking to you, I can help you. I can help you by putting you through a process of launching 4 products, getting them to 25 sales a day at a $30 price point, and building $1 million business. And whenever you're ready to go through that process, there's 2 things you can do. You can go to my sales page and you can apply to give me money. I make you apply because I want to make sure that you're my person. Go to capitalism.com/1, fill out the form, and we'll see if we can help you. The second way, if you're not ready for that, just go download all my free stuff, the playbook, the case studies, the strategies, and you can see if this is something that you want to do. And that's for free at capitalism.com/playbook. And if you're not going to do any of those, at least hit the darn subscribe button or leave me an annoying comment on YouTube.